So when I create a lick, what I like to do is to come up with a concept that will move it. So I try not to just come up with a lick that's sort of a static pattern that I only play through that. I try and come up with an idea that allows me to move it around the neck and allows me to do things with it and allows me to improvise with it, if you like. So it gives me like a seed of an idea, but I want to be able to adapt it. So I thought this week I'd talk a little bit about how I go about doing that. I'll pick on a lick and I'll move it around, move it across the neck. So the idea here is it's a static lick. It just stays in one position. But what I want to do is to find a way of just moving it across the strings and back again. So let me play through it. So let's just start with a basic lick then. We're up on the 12th fret and we're in G major, E minor. So I'm playing around the 3 notes per string pattern that you find up there. And just playing it through slowly. I've got a PDF in the description field, so you've got something to follow along with, but it's a static shape. But it moves quite nicely, as you can see. So let's see what we can do with that. So that's the basic idea. As you can see, it's static, it's between the E and the B strings, and like I said before, I've created a PDF of this and I'll put it in the description, so you can work through that if you want to sort of work out the fingerings yourself. But let's see if we can move it. Let's see if we can turn it into a descending lick to start with. Okay, so the lick itself, as I say, it's a static pattern. But because it sits across 2 strings of a 3 notes per string pattern, we can just move it. So it'll fit between any 2 strings of a 3 notes per string pattern, so we can take advantage of that. But if I have a look at the lick, you can see I've put a little ascending line here which takes me back to the E string again. So if I didn't do that, I'd actually be on that B, just there, and then I've got that little 3 note pattern that puts me back on the E again. So if I leave that out, I've got something that actually moves. Let's see if we can play that up to speed. So that moves quite nicely across the strings, as you can see. Okay, so that's a descending version of it, which was quite easy, and as you can see, all I was doing there really was I was taking advantage of the fact that there's this symmetry because I'm playing 3 notes per string type patterns. Let's see if we can do the same thing and move it back up, so ascending lines instead of descending lines. Okay, so turning this around then, let's start on the B string. So there's our pattern. So how do we get that to move across the string this way? Well, we can take advantage of that ascending line again. Because I could easily do that twice. First time. And now I'm back on the E string. So that works quite well as well. So that's it. As you can see, it's a nice adaptable little lick. It's something that I can move around the neck, and as I've said before, what I'm doing here is I'm taking advantage of the fact that I've got 3 notes per string, and that gives me a symmetry which allows you to move the shape from one set of strings to another without having to relearn the entire fingering again. So have a play around with it and have a go with your own ideas as well. See if you can come up with your own lines, see how you'd adapt those as well. Anyway, that's enough for this week and we'll chat next time. Goodbye.